Good morning, everyone. Not a great start of the day. We are heading to Deep6 Gear in Forsyth, Georgia. Our plan was to ride our bikes all the way down there. You know, beautiful day out, just enjoy the ride and then do the tour and the giveaway and all of that. But the weather here in Georgia has been terrible since yesterday. It hasn't stopped raining since yesterday. I mean, let me show you this. Awful. So yeah, I should have picked Woody up 26 minutes ago. I still have 22 minutes to go. So he's obviously not very excited, and I'm kind of disappointed as well because I wish we were already on our way down there. So much to show you. Hopefully you like the video, and you know, don't forget to check your status when it comes to subscribing to the channel, because a lot of people have been telling us that they are getting unsubscribed randomly by YouTube or something. So please make sure that you're subscribed. Check your status. Don't just trust YouTube. Just, you know, check it. Hey, buddy. What's up? Late start today because of weather.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited though. We're going to Deep6's distribution center, and I call it not manufacturing, but more like assembly plant, because yeah, he was telling me like the stuff is made, you know, overseas or whatever, but it's assembled, put together. Like, for example, a regulator. Obviously he's not manufacturing the first stage and the second stage there, but he's assembling it, bench testing it there, putting it together and all of that. So I mean,
well, I mean, he owns the design, right? Deep6 design is like, you know, like iPhones are made in China, but Apple designed them in California.
So that's kind of exactly right. But I'm excited about today. I really am. Deep6 is some amazing gear. I use it on my cave diving. That's my regulators and fins. I like their fins because they're super light, but they also give me the same amount of power. And I kind of went from the Scuba Jet Pros, which are great, but they're heavy
jet fins,
jet fins to these. And we're going to be there with the owner, Chris Richardson, who's quite the instructor trainer of cave diving as well. I mean, I can't remember what he told me. I think he was the head of NAUI at one point, and I don't know, maybe he was SDI or TDI's, like at least one of their initial 10. I think his training number may be 10. You know, like it, you know, he's been around for a long time. He's up there, so we're excited to hang out with him.
All right, guys, we're here at Deep6. We're gonna do a completely unauthorized, we don't know what we're doing, type of tour, which is my favorite type of tour. So let's go in and start looking at stuff, picking stuff.
And I do know a lot about what I'm doing when it comes to a regulator manufacturing or anything else. All right, here we are at Deep6. We're big fans of this product. I use their regulators and their flippers and all of that stuff.
Oh my God.
I love their flippers.
All right.
Oh, cool. So here we are, walking into, wow. The first thing that jumps out at me is like, who doesn't
the
want to play?
awards and the...
No, who doesn't want to play Astros?
What?
This is what the video game was all about when it started. We made video games. Anyway, I'm.
You don't.
No, I could.
That's not. Let's focus on the.
Because I could be here for the rest of the day.
You know what popped to me was this dry suit, orange dry suit, dude.
God,
that looks legit.
Amazing.
Look at that.
Pink. If we had that.
Woo!
Wow. That's Chris. That's one of the owners, and look at his trim. I'll give you that much right now.
It's awesome, and that's what we love about this place, is that serious divers are the ones developing product.
That is true, and the serious divers apparently take some naps in the middle of the day, which I
could have left that out. But
over here, we could have left it out, but I'm glad we didn't. Over here is Chris Richardson's, by the way, who's an instructor, trainer of cave diving, and apparently is one hell of a officer.
Served in the armed force in Canada.
All of those he served on, he told us that, including those 3 subs.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing. And yeah, okay, so that's the office.
All right.
Knock that part out.
Yeah. All right, this is an orange office.
This is orange office. A little hurtful of the eyes, but it's orange.
That's, well.
And this
Kitchen. They have a popcorn machine?
Exactly.
What?
Don't skip through.
They have me a popcorn. That's.
Okay, so you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, here's one of the offices, and there's serious business going on here. Here's what serious business looks like.
Okay, thank you. All right. That's it.
We'll take your order and we'll manufacture that right up. A couple little parts. Beep, beep, beep.
I don't think that's how that works, but all right.
Anyway.
Okay, and here's the warehouse.
Bathroom? Stop.
What? We don't have to show the bathroom.
So we're in the warehouse.
Yeah.
We've got flippers. We've got. But wow, those are some cool multicolored suitcases I never noticed before.
Oh no, that's our own.
Those are not for sale.
Oh, all right.
That area is not very exciting.
Okay, because I was gonna sample that product.
We got Tom here.
Hey.
Who's been featured on the channel.
And
Hey guys.
And what? You have to say the name.
Landon.
Landon L.
But what is it? And?
Landon L. I just
Landon
Lassiter.
Lassiter.
I knew
Lassiter,
LL.
like the high school, yeah.
Dry bags. Actually, these are really, really nice.
Yeah, these are the new dry bags. There's 3 different sizes. You know, so 40 liter, 60 liter.
Let me show you where I do my reg manufacturing.
Oh,
Come back
my God.
here. This is a workstation, and these are various regulator parts. That screw,
Is that the
for
technical
example,
term?
I know
That's a screw, for example. Is that
this screw, for example.
okay?
I'm going to show you how to put this in a regulator.
Wow.
I'm going to grab one of these,
Terrifying.
one of these, probably put that in. That's the second stage. I'll hook it up, and I'm going to put the manifold in with a couple of those screws. Boom, boom, boom. I have my tools ready to go,
Yeah.
and you will have a perfectly breathing regulator in a little while.
That thing is so nice.
Yeah, but this one's really cool because I like it has the metric and imperial on the outside. All right, let's continue with the tour.
This is the shipping, yeah.
We quickly have to knock that out.
Yeah, and you always know when you're getting a box
They
from
ship
us.
worldwide, by the way. That's all you guys really need to know.
When you get a box from us,
Yeah.
it's gonna have the Deep6 tape on it. These are the machines we use for that. And basically, it just brings it out. It's wet. Goes on and seals the box.
Legit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is something
No.
that I am a specialist
Oh, no.
in. Come on over here. I
Oh,
didn't know
boy.
you guys had this.
Right now,
Ladies and gentlemen, one time I drove a forklift, so
No.
I know how to drive a forklift. I will lift something so high right now on this forklift.
I'm amazed you're still alive.
If you just turn it, lift it, oh my, I would be all
You
over
turn
this.
it and lift it? What?
It's like a helicopter. I'm a pilot.
Oh my god.
There's no difference.
That's not even.
All right, boxes, and we have, there's been some product filming done in here. Pretty nice.
You might
Look at that. Perfect.
you may see us feature one of these product reviews. We want to review them. We want to test them, right? Put them to the test.
Yeah.
So
Good looking studio.
we might show up on that channel.
More of an area, and I'm not joking around. Chris did say we can take a service technician class here. And
Yep.
I want to do that. I really do want to learn how to completely service the regulators because I use the Deep6 regs, and that's really cool that they sort of encourage. I forget what the movement he calls it is. Service your own gear movement or something like
Yep.
that, which is pretty cool. All right, and that's it. We're
Hey Woody,
yeah.
come here. Okay. Can you please explain to the audience what this is right here?
Yep. Here's what I'm going to use this for later. I always work my way from the top down. So what I do is I first take this I-Prange and turn it on. This is made by a company that I have a lot of respect for called Scuba Tools. And we use this to add a certain amount of PSI as we come into the magnetic gauge for testing how many inches of water and pressure the regs that I'm going to service in a little while can take, mixed in with PSI. We want to make sure manifolds are also compliant.
That's a matter.
So we have special tools that I'll be using for that.
Do not touch that.
That's a perfect flow analyzer
Oh.
analysis that I just did.
Okay, that makes total nonsense.
Any other questions before we leave this room?
It makes perfect nonsense. All right.
I'll be using you later.
That's
I've
not.
had the deep fryer. I already use that.
Okay, but this is cool. Sort of their entranceway here, and it's kind of neat. They have their regs opened up, so you can see the internal components of them. They are just every aspect of them. I'm not going to go through all the details, but just the brushed nickel and the quality of the fact like this is steel and it's not just plastic and these can't get locked up. I mean, they were going through and explaining all this stuff to me. You can pop these babies open underwater, no joking around. If you have a problem with the reg, you can just open it up. There's only 3 parts to it. Clean out a little dust or whatever, put them right back together underwater.
Assuming you have 2 regulators, don't do this with your only one.
Right. Obviously, like we're talking about if you're on a rebreather and maybe it's
Something
free flowing or
is fine,
something, you got to open it up real fast. So
We have back plates too.
back plates, different color. So anyway, all right. I think we're gonna go put together a regulator. Is what we're told that we're gonna do next. So
Yeah, let's go check that out, put it together, and
and then I'll use the
hopefully
machine
work.
that I just
Let's-
explained. This thing.
Okay, guys, so I think it's time that we give this thing away, this
All right.
regulator
All right.
away. So if you
Hey, what are we giving
have
away?
just one regulator, right?
A reg, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, we're giving away
So-
a regulator. First
Okay.
stage, second stage, and
Yeah,
all.
that
the
was-
whole thing,
Yeah.
not
You-
mine though. Don't just put
Oh, I
that
was
down.
about to give the no.
Early in this conversation, I mentioned what year I got certified.
What? What
I
year did
remember-
Chris get certified? That's a hard question.
I know
and
it.
A regulator is a big price, so that's
I-
a good question.
Yep, I remember it.
I don't even remember it. So,
I'm not sure people's memories.
all right. So the first
Oh,
answer.
Yeah, I took a horse and carriage to the class.
Here we
The
go.
answers are pouring in. 1981 was the first answer.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow. So Joshua Paskey, you win
Congratulations,
the regulator.
Roy.
Yeah, man. Hey, Josh. So you won this regulator, and luckily I'm here.
Luckily.
I'm going to assemble this regulator.
Oh boy.
I'm going to bench test it, pressure test it, manifold test it, and
Manifold.
Josh,
Any
you
other
have
words
Dan
I should-
insurance, right?
I hope.
Yeah, you have Dan insurance. Don't worry, we're gonna double check everything Woody does. In fact, Landon's gonna walk Woody through this, so you guys should have an adventure.
I'm going to do first test.
Smell test. Important.
Look at that beauty that you're getting. We're going to. All right, so this is your second stage.
All right, let's do it. Let's assemble it.
We're assembling. I got to open it. That's the impatience that can get somebody hurt. Why we got another one here?
I don't know.
Is there a reason why we have 2?
No, I just picked
Yeah, it's recreational setup, right?
Oh
Wow.
wow, dude, you're getting
2.
An octopus
okay.
as well.
You're getting an
2
octopus
second
as
stage?
well. I didn't even
Oh.
know that. Are you sure that I didn't win? No, I'm just kidding. That's sweet. Okay. All right, I'm doing product testing for you. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
necessary.
Ladies and gentlemen, particularly Josh, we have here it's like an army tank of first aid.
6 might work.
And tell them about like all those quick things you told me about the
Yeah,
about
earlier.
and also how to pop it open and service it himself underwater.
Yeah.
All right, so watch this, Josh.
So right now all we're doing is we're taking off the environmental seal because we're going to have to set the intermediate pressure on this reg.
Have to.
That's 6.
There's your environmental seal.
Yep. So yeah, this is your environmental seal here. The environmental cap. This is your transfer piston. Okay. So here is our DIN cap. We're gonna go ahead and take that off. Like you were talking about earlier, right? It's an all metal hand wheel. It's got that PVD coating on it, that titanium carbonitride shell. It's
Nice.
got the extension here on the turret, so you can get that full 360 rotation
Exactly,
out of
so
it.
it doesn't bump. They thought of all that. It's really nice.
We did that just for side mount diving because we do a lot of cave side mount. So
Cool.
But so we're going to take one of our tanks over here that we got set up. What we can do is we can sit here and screw this on. All new regulators come with one port open. mainly so you can't pressurize it with nothing attached.
Okay.
I mean, if you did, you could sit there and kind of slowly loosen a port plug and let the pressure out.
That would be a real pain in the neck.
Yeah, we actually get a lot of calls sometimes, and they're
That's
like,
a
"Oh,
really, I never thought of that.
well, we get a lot of calls from divers, and they're like, oh, my rig came in when they order them not as a complete set, right? It comes with a one port plug unplugged, and they're like, oh, it's missing a port plug. It's not actually missing a port plug. They just don't come with one because do you really need it, right? The rig is it needs at least one item.
Gotta have
attached
something
to
on it. That's what it's okay. See, as a reg technician, I just learned something. Ew.
I don't know about that.
I'm only Tech 202.
What?
That's a 3-level of recognition.
Oh my god.
Third order questioning. So what we can do now is we can slowly pressurize this reg and see we're going to see where we're set at on the intermediate pressure. And so the intermediate pressure for these is designed to be at 135 plus or minus 5. So we can sit there and pop it some and see where we're at. Now see we're a little bit over 135. So what we'll do is we'll take our hex key here. This is our number 6.
Just turn it. You just like turning something. What are you turning in there?
So there's a screw here on the top, like a threaded fitting. There's a spring underneath that. That spring applies pressure to the diaphragm. And so the amount of pressure it's applying sets the intermediate pressure. So right, you can loosen it up and you can lower it, or you can tighten it down and you can drive the pressure up higher. So yeah.
That's cool.
So I'll do yours. Make sure it's right.
Yep. I thought you already got it.
So what we're gonna do
Which way
is
should I
turn it a
turn it?
little bit to the left.
This way?
Yeah. Left, keep going. A little more. Stop.
What do
All
you
right,
think?
now see, we're a little bit below the 135, right?
Bump it up a little.
No, don't bump it up.
Okay.
Leave it there. So what's going to happen when we actually put the environmental seal on it?
I did
There'll be
that.
a little bit of pressure applied from the transfer piston, so it'll push it up that last little bit.
Awesome.
Thank
So-
goodness for the transfer piston.
What we're going to do now is we're
I
going to
think
put that
that's
environmental cap on, or here you can do it. So put this in first.
Oh.
So you can slip that in.
Okay. Without this environmental seal, me doing it properly, you would have big problems. But luckily, I got it laid
Here, I'll show
right
you a
in.
little something too. Push on that white piston. See, you can drive the intermediate pressure up. So we're gonna pop it again and put it back down where it would be. So that's what happens when you go down in the water, right? As you descend in the water column and the atmospheric pressure goes up, it pushes on that environmental cap, and so it raises the IP. It's
So
a balanced regulator because it stays at a fixed pressure over ambient.
See, it counteracts the ambient
That's
pressure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty
So now we're gonna
amazing.
put that on. That's the actual environmental seal.
Very good looking logo on the outside of that.
And
And
here's our environmental cap. So the last thing we'll do is screw that down onto the regulator. Now I always put environmental seals on while the reg is pressurized. The reason why is the diaphragm pushes out when it's pressurized. And so you want to minimize the airspace under the environmental seal.
okay.
And
Do I
so
really
watch.
tighten pretty tight?
Yeah,
Tight as
just
I
as
can?
tight as you can get it by hand.
All
One
right.
mistake I see with RegTechs a lot is they will use a wrench and they will tighten it down. They'll use the pin spanner hole on this to tighten the environmental cap on. It's not really holding back any pressure.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be on that tight.
Okay.
I leave mine where I can take them off by hand, right? I could screw them off and check and then reseat them if I needed to.
Okay.
If you
Makes
sit there
sense.
and tighten them down too tight and it gets, it goes quite a distance between services, sometimes you can get a little bit of corrosion there and verdigris, in the seams. And so if you get that in the threads, it's harder to get off. That tiny little hole on there is to help you get it off if it's just a little bit too tight.
I see.
It's not actually there for you to tighten it down.
There's a little hole on the top so you could.
Yeah, it's in
undo
the
it
it's in
that
the
way.
environmental cap on the other side, so you can feel it over
Oh,
here.
okay. Yep.
But yeah, that's there to help you get it off, not to put it on.
Okay. Gotcha.
Awesome.
Now the other ones here, this is to help you tighten down the diaphragm clamp.
Okay.
This is to help you put on the turret. But yes, the one on here, if you notice, it's a little bit shallower as well. It's only there so you can get the environmental cap off.
Okay.
All right, so we set our intermediate pressure, right? See how it bumped up just a little bit, like 134-ish, 135. Good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this off. We're going to drop the pressure.
That's
out of it.
amazing. That's all there really was to setting the IP pressure, man. It's just having this gauge and turning that little thing inside of it. It's not.
Oh, and the
I
other
never
thing
knew
is,
that.
look, feel right here now. See See, if we minimize the airspace in there, it vacuums down.
Kinda sucked in.
Yeah, it sucks in. If you ever notice regs sometimes where you see them and that's bulging out, they probably put the environmental cap on it while it was depressurized. And then when you pressurize it and the diaphragm pushes up, it pushes up as well on the environmental cap. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put our short hose on.
All right.
So what we can do here is, look, as you spin it around, you see there's one little notch here on this side.
Yep.
These are closer together. For a single tank setup, I tend to use the other side where the spacing is a little further apart.
Okay.
Right? First hose we're gonna put on here.
Spin, easy, that's easy enough.
There's one of the wrenches right here. So look, when I tighten these down, brass is always a soft metal. You don't have to go too tight with it. But see, it stops, and then you just give it just a little bit more.
That's it, not a big.
Yeah, you don't have to push too hard on these.
Okay, I probably would have
So-
stripped that right out if I did that.
Now what
Like
we're
it
gonna do,
tighten
we're gonna
down.
set the intermediate pressure.
Tight.
Or sorry, we're gonna set
That's-
the cracking
that
effort.
sounds weird.
I like my regs tight.
Okay, but when you said I like it tight, that's
Tight.
that sounds weird.
I like a tight regulator.
That's
I'm
All right.
sorry, we got it. That sometimes we drift. We drift.
Drifting a little. So look, if you look in here, you can adjust the orifice on this regulator
Yes.
with a hex key fitting. Yeah. So this is an inline adjuster, so we can tune it. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble this down onto here. So we spin this on. Now see, we can push in on this
What it
and
would.
engage it.
Okay.
It's an inline adjuster. We're adjusting the tension on this orifice in here. That tightens or loosens against the whole spring assembly.
But how do you know how tight or loose you want it there?
We're going to use this device over here, a
There we-
Magnelic.
Okay. The Magnelic, the one I explained earlier, the Magnelic.
No, that's not-
click.
well, maybe now we'll know what it is.
All right, so see, we've got it assembled in here.
Mm-hmm.
We can turn on our rig. Now I always set these to be the easiest breathing. So
Okay.
I sit here and I take the macro adjuster and loosen it all the way out, push the dive pre-dive selector toward the diver so it's engaged.
Okay.
Now what you can do is you can put your lips on here, try and make a very small seam on this orifice,
Yes.
and as you slowly inhale, you'll watch this go up, right?
Yes.
You want to set this to 1.1 inches of water.
Wow.
So
Oh,
1.1 coming up.
where's it cracking now? Looks like a 1.3 or so.
1.3. Yeah.
So what you can do is you can spin this back just a little bit. Now check
So you
again.
made it a little more resistance just now.
A little less resistance. So you want to know that point where it just
Should I
starts
be
to flow?
breathing it as hard as?
No, breathe.
Just to the point. Okay.
Sip on it. Where'd it
Watch
crack?
it again. 1, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 3.
Let's loosen it up a little more. Now try again. It's probably a little below 1.
A little below 1 there. Yeah.
So we'll tighten it up just a touch. Now try.
I'll watch it again. I think it's 1, 2. 1, 2.
So, see, fine adjustments. Now try.
1, 1.
1, 1.
Wow.
Good.
1, 1.
So now that
Pretty
we got
cool.
this one set, we're gonna pull the Magnelic off.
so now we know what that does. Cool.
So we disengage the adjuster. See, I pulled it back out of it. So see, now we can sit here and spin this off without readjusting our orifice.
So it changed the little
Change the
size.
depth of that orifice
The depth
very
of it.
slightly. Now here's the thing, when you're in the water, the whole point of this macro adjuster is if you want to increase the breathing resistance, you can sit here and tighten it up. That's pushing up the cracking effort. Now it's a 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Somewhere at the top end, you might get it up to like a 1.5, right? And so if you have it set like this and you say, well, it's breathing a little hard, I want to make it breathe a little better. So you sit here and you spin this out. Now you're lowering your cracking
And then what's
effort.
the difference between that and then what versus
So what this
Venturi?
is a Venturi switch. And so what you're doing here is you're directing the air away from the diver, so toward the diaphragm. So in case it free flows, it'll hit it and try and pop it back out. Or if it's turned this way, the air flows directly towards the diver. So both of these make it easier or harder to breathe, but in different ways,
Okay.
right? And so the maximum setting for the diver is the Venturi switch toward them, the knob turned all the way out. That should be the lowest breathing effort on the whole rig, right? And so if you want to adjust that up, you can either tighten this down or you can redirect the gas a little bit, more or
Gotcha.
less, right?
Nice.
So now that we've tuned this one, so like I said, you don't have to put these down too tight, right? So we're gonna grab the hose here, and so see we stopped.
Yep.
And just a
a
tiny little bit,
tiny
yeah.
turn.
You only really need about 35 inch-pounds of pressure on these.
Okay.
You get a feel for it the more you do it, but they do make torque wrenches, you know, that you can
Okay.
use to make it exact. So next up, we have our 40-inch hose and 4mm hex key. So since this is going to be a Zacto, here I'll let you do it. We're going to remove that port plug right here. Now we're going to put our 40-inch hose on.
40 inches going on. And now we're just
Yep.
going to do a little, not a big.
Yep. And all the time when I use the wrench, I don't go directly down to the reg. I stay off of it, you know, like a 1/4 inch, just so I don't scratch the brass.
I'm going to do that too then, and just a little.
Yep. So see,
Unscratched,
it's on
Josh. An unscratched tightening.
See, they're on there tight. You can't take them off yourself. Good. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take our other second stage. Do you remember what we do now? Let's
Yeah.
set it to our easiest breathing effort.
Okay, so this is towards the diver.
No, the other way. Yeah,
Oh,
towards the
sorry,
diver.
towards the diver, and you already did this, did
Nope.
you? Oh. So I
Well,
got both
it
answers
might
wrong.
come already loosened out. Yep. So all the way to the left is as loose as it gets. So,
So,
right here.
so
Yep.
that was already there.
Yeah, it was
Okay, I
already
got
there.
50% on that.
Mm. So Josh, basically you have 50-50 chance of this
There you go.
octopus.
All right, folks, here we go. This is. We're going to be using the Magnegalago in a second. Hold on, I don't want to. All right, here we go. Everybody remember what this does? Okay.
So now engage the adjuster. So slide it toward the reg. See,
It's
you're
in,
locked in. Good.
And now we put that little thing on.
So yeah, that's sorry. So I just tend to push these in. These are actually fit quite well with our mouthpieces. See, they engage really well.
Yeah, I'm sure we've cleaned these from other people's mouths.
So we're going to turn
It
the reg
tasted
on.
like a burger. I don't know what it
Now
is.
let's try and adjust it.
All right, here we go. That's pretty close. Hold on, let me do it again and look.
Can you slide it? Yeah.
Dude, I think it's
Is it
right
on?
on. I mean,
All right.
I think that's right on 1-1. I'm gonna
Perfect.
because it's yours, Josh. I want to triple check myself. Hold on. It's right on 1-1.
All right.
I honestly don't want to adjust it, Josh.
Okay.
Good. So sometimes on a rig that's going to be the Octopus, you can tune them up a little bit if you want to, like a 1.2 or something. I tend to set mine exactly where they're going to be set anyway, at a 1.1.
Okay.
Over time, sometimes the regulator seats break in just a little bit.
Okay.
And so what you wind up with is you wind up with a cracking effort lowering. And so they might lower down to like a 1.0, which is still fine, you know. All right, so now for the fun part. We're going to take these Venturi levers and push them away so the regs are less likely to free flow. You sit here and hold this one. Now let's just go back and forth with a little burst to hammer in on that seat some.
How long do you do it for?
50 times or so.
I had an Eminem song in my head.
So
Which
now
song
if you want to,
did
what
I
we
have?
can do is we can double check, right? So push
Okay.
that in. So here we can check the cracking
Another
effort.
1-1, hopefully.
Yeah, let's make sure it held well.
1-1.
there,
Perfection
right?
on that one.
You can check this one again if you want.
Okay, 1-1 on that one, and let's find out what this guy is. Yep, that's perfect. Dude, you're 1-1. Perfection 1-1. Both 1-1 on
Awesome.
the spot.
So we are now set.
Awesome.
Josh, you now have a really, really awesome regulator set.
Okay.
Made almost exclusively by me,
Well,
with, thank goodness, a supervisor.